Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I know it's been a while. Also, I have a new closed captioning program because the old one is not working, and I am not 100% sure that it's working. So, if there's anybody who happens to be watching and uses closed captioning, let me know. One, if it's working, and two, if you like it. So, all right, today. Well, I suppose I should start by saying Merry Christmas to everyone, because it's been so long, and Happy New Year. I really hope that 2026 turns out well for everybody. I want it to be a good year. So, also in light of that, on the 10th, which is next Saturday, it's my birthday, and usually I do, I try to get as many people together and I try to play as many friend swap games as I can. But here we're just gonna play one game. I feel like it hasn't really worked out the past 2 years the way that I've wanted it to. So I have picked Goose Goose Duck. This is a game that I've been wanting to play for a very long time and I have not been able to. It is very similar to Among Us, but with geese and with like 100 more rolls. So I currently have about 8 people who are interested. Might not all of them show up or show up on time, fine. But if you are a friend, a mutual, and you would like to participate in that Goose Goose Duck stream, either DM me or stop by my Discord server and sign up in the event.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Thank you so much, Louie. How are you doing today? I was just going over next Saturday's plans for the Goose Goose Duck, and I think you're signed up for that, right? So you're gonna be there. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna murder each other as geese, or I guess as ducks. The geese are the good guys. Oh, so yeah, Burr got me this game for Christmas, and I am not surprised that my witch friend bought me the Little Witch in the Woods. I can't remember exactly what this game is about, but I think it's kind of like a fun little like magic version of Stardew Valley kind of feeling. And for some reason I never really got into Stardew Valley. Like I don't know how to explain how bored I get in Stardew Valley or why. So I am just hoping that this one does not bore me like Stardew Valley. And also I am confused that there is no mouse in this game. Everything is controlled using WASD, and for some reason select is K. I don't get it. But here we go. Due to static time? That's different. Okay, I don't know what static time is, but I'm assuming that means that the clock is failing to go. What an interesting first line in a game. I wonder where the carrot was. You're still thinking about that? We found everything except the carrot. I think it's good that we never found the carrot. There was something off about that legendary carrot soup recipe. I just realized we never checked the men's restroom. You actually have some shame? I thought you knew nothing but adventures. searched the whole school save for that place, but we never found the carrot. That means the carrot was in the men's restroom. A carrot in the men's restroom? What an odd sense of humor. I should write Jenny a letter asking her to look through the men's restroom. Can't you ask Will instead? It's the men's restroom after all. Nope. If that coward finds it, he'll take it to the professor bawling like before. Keep in mind that if it weren't for Will, you'd be in jail right now instead of on a train. Or 6 feet under. Ugh, I'm so bored. I see why no one else wants to ride this god-awful train. It's boring enough to drive anyone insane. A ticket for this train costs 500 pies. And it stopped the witch's house in Hel'leon? Of course. Is it Hel'leon or Hel'leon? I think we should call it Hel'leon. Where all roads lead to. Oh, she must live in Rome. You're magna cum laude at the school for witches. Whatever, I don't care about any of that. How did I become magna cum laude anyway? I even sneaked into the forbidden principal's office twice. 3 times. And I looked through the forbidden books in the hidden library in the school's basement. I still remember that horned rabbit that was as big as a house. No wonder Will started crying. So how on earth did I manage magna cum laude? I simply didn't want to lose. Cut it out and sit quietly. This is a train only for those who want to succeed. Oh my god, I just realized that the bartender is like a leopard, a snow leopard. The witch's house might be dark and damp, but it's only 3 years of your life. Fine, fine, enough with the lecture. And even though I knew it was her hat talking to her, I just realized that there's a blue, like a highlighted blue face on the hat. I complain all the time about how unobservant my parents are, and then here's me not noticing a goddamn thing. The thought of taking off my shoes when I got off the train alone was disturbing enough. Shoes? For what? Don't you know about the terrible city of rules that is Hylian? The first thing to do here is to take your shoes off as soon as you get off the train. This is my first time hearing something like that. I heard that Jenny's older sister was wearing tall lace-up boots when she first arrived at Hylian, so she almost couldn't get off because she was busy untying the boots. Really? It's true. Ask someone else if you don't believe me. Investigate! The truth remains one. Bartender, hello, Mr. Kitty. He's a handsome young kitty, isn't he? Is that supposed? Do you think it's supposed to be a beard, like in lieu of a beard? Hello, Mr. Bartender. Hey, want a drink? No, I don't drink alcohol. Do you have any tea? Of course. Then I'll have a cup of that. The tea has alcohol. Is that okay? But then that's just alcohol. Alcohol with tea. Potato, potato. Then can I ask you a question instead of a drink? Go ahead. From what I've heard, you have to take your shoes off before you step foot into Hylian Station. You work at the train, so you know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, that story. Alright. I've seen plenty of confused passengers who were all dressed up for Hylian only to find themselves in the wrong shoes. If you're wearing shoes of that sort, I'd advise you to untie them in advance. O ye who reacheth Hylian, Look first upon thy shoes, or so that's how the saying goes. See, Virgil, I was right. You're not going to ask just one person, are you? Whatever research you do, one sample is never enough, you know. Not even the greatest detectives can reach the truth based on a single piece of evidence. You have a point. Lace up boots. It's a pain to wear lace up boots if you're boarding the train to Hylian. Let's ask the others too. If there is anyone else on this train, that is. I should be on my way then. Alright, have a fun trip. Keywords is a feature for talking to villagers. You can use keyboards to talk to villagers and ask them questions about specific themes. There are general keywords and special keywords. General keywords are permanent keywords that apply to all villagers. Special keywords are for certain occasions, such as a quest, and are removed after a certain number of uses. You can view available keywords from the keyword page of the journal. Open menu, J. Select journal, D. Change category, A and D. Yay! Okay, so we're on the prologue. We gotta talk to people. And we've learned lace up boots. Oh, looks like there's an otter for a conductor. Exit L. Why do they keep changing the keys? That is really weird. Like when I was in the options, like my selection key was Z, and then as soon as I left the options, my selection was K, and now like my exit key is L. I feel like they should all be the same key. And I feel naked without being able to use the mouse. It kind of reminds me of some of the first games that I ever played back on my dad's Tandy 1000 on dial-up. Actually, no, they weren't online games. What am I talking about? Oh, you know what? I should see if I could find like those games again. I don't know if it's possible to play them or if I need an emulator or something, but or what was it? King's King's Quest. What it was, King's Quest. You needed to, in order to ensure that you had like a real copy of the game, you had to give a keyword that was from the manual. It would be like, what is, you know, the 24th word on page 14? And you had to do that every time you loaded the game just to prove that you had a real copy of the game and not like your friend made copies onto another disc and it came up floppy disks. Those were the days when programs were so big, like you would buy it and it would come with like 16 floppy disks and you'd have to sit there the whole time for like 2 hours. It'd be like, okay, I'm ready for disc 2, and you'd have to pop out disc 1 and put in disc 2. And then 20 minutes later, it'd be like, okay, I'm ready for disc 3. God. Those were the days. Okay, so tab apparently just shows me my quests. And what is C? My collected items. Okay, J is my journal. I must be my inventory, which is different than collected items. What is Q? Oh, Q lets me do things, I think. Okay, and then E must be potions. Weed Terminator potion. Okay, but I don't have it right now, so. Oh, wait, I can investigate the table I was at? The food was really delicious. Your face was bright only when you were eating after getting on the train. Oh, omelet. I would love an omelet. Oh, cheese and crab. Oh, I don't like fish though. Pink salmon steak seasoned with fresh lemon-scented kiwi sauce. Even the slightly frozen strawberries and peach sorbet with whipped cream. Without such dishes, I would have jumped off the train sooner. It's definitely different from the food you buy at the store at the school for witches. I bought that to collect the Great Witch cards. I got scolded because I was caught keeping the card and throwing away the bread. Don't do that in Hylian. I'll definitely try the Nubicula cupcakes there. That's if I get to Hylian before I get bored to death. Oh, are we the only human? Ordinary passenger. Looks like a wolf. Oh, he has heterochromia. He's a very dapper looking wolf. Hello. Oh, hello. Oh, I want to ask you about something. You're on the way to Hylian, right? Correct. What's the matter? Oh, it's just that you have a very rigid way of speaking. Oh my. Old habits die hard, especially when one is deep in thought. Speak. Oh, we can choose. It's not just the question. We can choose something. Oh, look at that. Personal stories, chit chat. We can give him a gift. Quest, shop. I don't know what those are. Personal stories. No, we better start with chit chat. I'm not much of a talker. I don't have anything to say in particular. Speak. Oh, okay. How about a personal story then? You live in Hylian? Correct. I own a flower shop there. Oh. Speak. I feel weird that a dog is telling me to speak. Alright, let's ask about the lace up boot. You've been staring at my feet for a while. Is there some kind of problem? Oh, I was going to ask anyway. Isn't it troublesome to wear such strappy boots? It takes some time to put them on and off. Or put them on and take them off, but I'm used to it. Then it would be hard for you when you arrive at Hylian. What? What are you talking about? I mean, you have to take your shoes off when you get off. What do you mean? What? Huh? Oh, you were kidding. I'm sorry. I'm rather dull when it comes to things like this. Jenny! Mr. Bartender! At last, mystery solved. Did I make some kind of mistake? No. I just realized that I was deceived. Come to think of it, I remember now. It's a joke to make fun of people who visit Hylian for the first time. Stop, you don't have to kill me twice by giving me that much detail. I'm sorry. Are you holding back laughter? You don't need to be too upset. When I went there for the first time in the past, I was also tricked by a colleague and took them off. That doesn't comfort me at all. I'm sorry. How do you feel? I can't believe Jenny deceived me. There's a reason why she's your friend. Now, go back to your seat quietly and wait until we've arrived. We still have 3 more days? Return to your seat and wait until you arrive. My god, can you imagine not being able to get up for 3 fucking days? Train crew, should we talk to the otter? Oh. Up ahead is the engine room. I guess we'll chit chat. Small talk is forbidden during operation. Up ahead is the engine room. Alright, well, no! Well, that's just me having fat fingers. Sorry about that. And we don't even get like a carriage to sleep in. We just gotta sit in this chair for 3 days. Ugh. Alright, now, have some patience and stay seated. I'm bored. You just sat down. This is torture. I should have torn up that stupid ticket right then and there. I got this idiotic patterning. It looks like it has armpit feathers of a phoenix in it. Although not from the armpit, it definitely has phoenix feather phoenix. What? It definitely has phoenix feather phoenix. That's to prevent people from counterfeiting such expensive tickets. You're such a know-it-all. No one asked. If I should ask something, it would be about the mountain right outside there. It must be hiding a cave with a tiled chamber deep within. There would be tall pillars, strange statues, and a giant door in front of which you'll find. Sounds like the prologue to a story where you awaken a terrible demon. Wait, hold on. Virgil, shut up and look out the window. At the summit of the mountain, there's a gigantic shining tree. A gigantic shining tree. Why is it shining? Does it have luminous flowers? It must be beautiful close up. Give it up. This train won't stop for 2 days. I want to get out now. I hope we crash. That chance of that happening. So just stay bored. After all, you signed up for 3 years of even more boredom. Aren't there any Rocaphants nearby? Nope. What about boa constrictors? This isn't a jungle. Train robbers? This isn't the Wild West. It's a healing game, remember? Ah, we stopped. Hey, a boa constrictor. The correct line is, what's going on? There's no station here. Why are we stopping? I'm not sure. Maybe there's something wrong with the train. I doubt it's a boa constrictor, though. I don't care if it's not a boa constrictor. Please just say there's some massively critical issue. Please, please, please. Here comes the otter. We apologize for the inconvenience. A critical issue, perhaps? The train cannot continue its journey due to a critical issue. Yes! Attention, the train will stop until tomorrow morning, and the departure time, when we go outside, will likely be announced tomorrow. We will depart immediately if possible. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. In the meantime, please avoid wandering too far from the train. Let's go. I'm not sure if you remember, but of course I remember. The shining tree is at the peak. No, not that. We have to get back by tomorrow morning. And we should get going. The shining tree. Search for the shining tree seen from the train. Wow, it's so dark. Freedom at last. If you're scared, we can go back to the train. I love it. Let's hurry. You can go to the memo board to view your current tasks. Oh, and J. The shining tree. Go to the mountaintop you saw from the train and search for the glowing tree. That's strange. Why were the two train cars not connected? Huh? And why is this poking at me again? I don't know. That was the wrong button. It's a hill. It won't be easy to climb. Look over there. There are vines hanging on the hill. I'll be able to climb that much. That's bad news. I know, it seemed pretty easy to me. It's a secret passageway, Virgil. I don't think it's a secret or a passageway. I bet there's a path beyond here. What's this? Looks like a little honey pumpkin. What's that? It's a demon that grows in gardens. The vines grow so fast that you can never get rid of them by hand. To remove the vines, you must find and destroy the core hidden somewhere. If we find the core, we can remove the vines, right? Or just be good and return to the train. Hi, Tism. Hi, Sage. That can't happen. Let's go look for the core. It must be nearby. Since the core gives off light, when you touch the vines, you'll be able to find it. There it is. Oh, do I gotta hold down? You gotta hold down. And that's it. It's gone. Wrong button. Great. It's finally time to explore. Okay, Tism, have fun in VR. Please don't use that word explore. That word gives me anxiety thanks to your mother. Press the sprint button to move faster than normal. Sprinting uses stamina. Must be the spacebar. Yeah, it is. Ooh, what's this? It won't let me. Aha! Use. Wow, what's this? It's something you've seen before. Me? I don't remember it at all. Either way, it's not needed now, so don't worry about it. You'll probably find out if you move here. Maybe I should move here. Let's think about it after you finish your apprenticeship at Hel'leon and graduate from the School of Witches. If I'm still alive by then and not bored to death, that is. Ooh. Yay! I got an apple. An apple. Really? I can't use anything here? There's nothing? Nothing? Where's this glowing tree? Did I break it? I don't know what that was. This investigate. It's too dark and worn down for me to see anything. I don't see any words, only pictures. Let's come back when it's brighter. Investigate. You don't have the right chalk. Acquire a stick. I wonder if I just stand here, will I just continue to sparkle? Nope, it goes away. Something in this bush. What is that? Seems that I cannot interact with it. It gives me a arrow though, so you think that I'd be able to interact with it, but I can't interact with it. But maybe I should follow it somewhere. A hole in the ground. Oh, I can interact with this tree? Oh, I can shake out more branches. Why do I need is this Animal Crossing? Do I need more branches? Well, didn't give me. Oh, more apple. Witch flower. Okay. Can I shake this bush? Get another crown apple. I can shake this tree and get some more. Ooh, that's a branch. What's that? A gold coin pouch. Nice. That's not a regular branch. A giant branch. What is this? No. Can't pick up the thorny things? Okay. A mountain. You're yelling because you hate it, right? I always hated mountains. My leather gets worn out from all the wind. Well, there must be something up here because otherwise, why would there be a ladder? Witch flower. What about this? Dangle mango. Maple herb. This sign. Got a light on it. Oh, it's a map! Green Forest Plateau. There is no "you are here," but I'm pretty sure I can tell where we are. So it looks like it's pretty easy just to go up. What are those people? Are these people? They look like people. Oh, more witch flower. Maple herb. Dangle mango. No, this is not the direction that I had planned to go. going to tell me I don't have the right chalk. Yeah. More Dangomingo. And let me crawl up. Oh. Oh. Hello. I see that chest up there. This is broken, so I can't get up it. I'm not allowed to interact with this magnificent flower. Why not? Why not? Parkour! You told me I can parkour. There's no parkour happening. Ooh, what do I get? What do I get? Coin pouches! Delicious tea. Is that everything? It looks like everything. Now let's go here. Really? Okay, I guess we'll take the long way. Can I do anything with this crap? No. And I can't do anything there. Look, there's more Dango Mango. I don't know what Dango Mango is used for yet, but I will take all. What do you mean I don't have enough energy? Wait, you mean that's not my health at the bottom? That's my energy? Ooh, butterfly. Yes, I know, I know. I just thought that I could make it through. We'll have to come from the other side. Or butterfly. Oh. Oh. Our way up is blocked? Why are there so many things blocking the path? This must be a secret forest, or this must be a forest with many secrets. What's this? Looks like a barrier made with a witch's sigil. Witch sigil? Is there a witch here? There was, or... You remember how it worked? School hammered it into my head. Shouldn't be an issue as long as it's drawn well. Apparently I had the right chalk for that one. Mountain summit. Alright, first of all. Wow, it's the shining tree. The same one we saw from the train. This is a bitter grape tea tree. I don't think the tree is the one that's shining. Check this out, Virgil. There are a ton of butterflies on it. You're right, the butterflies seem to be glowing. These are blue moon butterflies. They give off a subtle moonlight. The light from these butterflies has the same power as actual moonlight. That's why strange things always happen in their habitat. They change the environment. Aren't they beautiful? A giant tea tree with butterflies glowing with moonlight. It's not just beautiful, it can be called an amazing sight to behold. Is this a pretty magnificent discovery? Actually, those two life forms are not rare themselves. What? You mean although the sight is stunning, it's not special? The fact that those two are together is the amazing part. What about those two being together? They're usually raised together artificially to get Moonflower in Lucerine or two. But it's uncommon for them to be together naturally like this. Anyway, we did find something, right? You have a point. I'll have to write a letter to the school. Let's look around a bit more. Fill up the encyclopedia and all, right? Just don't be late. We must return to the train by tomorrow morning. Alright, let's go back the way we came up. There might be other strange things. Retrace your path. I don't think I'll get a wink of sleep on the train. I wonder if there's anywhere I can sleep for tonight. What about the ground? The dirt and rocks should make it for a nice bed. That's not funny, Virgil. Look, this place is also inhabited by the blue moon butterfly we saw at the peak. You might as well collect some for study purposes. You think I could just sneak up and grab it? Wait, don't you remember what Mr. Gravier said? Death lives under the bed. No, not that. Draw it before you touch it. Correct. Firstly, use the quill to draw it in the encyclopedia. Open tool selector. Oh, I can't just press 5? Use quill. Once the subject has been drawn with the quill, it cannot be drawn again. There's a cooldown before you can use the quill on something of this type again. In the menu, select the encyclopedia. Blue Moon Butterfly. Drawing life forms with the quill in the encyclopedia unlocks information about them. When you draw the same type of plant or animal multiple times, additional information will be unlocked. Habitat, time of appearance, etc. Tools used for collecting. Possible collected items. How to make collecting easier. You may level up your encyclopedia and receive rewards by pulling off different actions. Collecting while sitting, collect while flying, draw unique objects with the quill. And great, it's registered in the encyclopedia. Seems like you can't catch it right now. Do you know why? How would I know? You might not know, but the encyclopedia does. Take a closer look at the encyclopedia. Let's see here. Now do you see why you can't catch any? Take another look. You can collect them using a bug net. I don't have one right now though. Not much you can do then. But I want to do it right now. Getting to the witch's hut in Hel'leon is more important. Let's go back down now. There's got to be something else that's fun. How do I get to that? I don't see how I get to that box. I feel like I have to come down to get it. but there's no... I can't go up over here because this bridge is broken. Oh, did I just switch screens? I go left or... Oh no, I'm trapped. Those are probably going to be teleport locations later. And of course, I can't go there. Already went over there. We went over here. A cat with a halo. Oh, wow. Ellie, let's get back to the train. Look at that, Virgil. A shining white cat. I've never seen anything like that before. Ellie, we have to... Let's go after that creature. I think the cat dropped something. What is it? Looks like a witch chalk. That thing you used to draw sigils? It looks a little different from the one we were using at the school. It's just a different packaging. This witch symbol seems to have been erased a bit. It won't work if it gets erased like this. You can draw the sigil again using the same colored witch chalk. Since I have the one I picked up earlier, let's draw it again with that. Should I redraw the witch's signal using one-time witch's white chalk? Alright, I've drawn the witch's sigil. Yay! Witch's garden. Huh, where did the cat go? Look, Virgil, there's a house! That's a witch's house, isn't it? Looks pretty old. I guess we can talk to the master witch here and stay here for a while. It doesn't look like there are people inside. If there's no one, we might stay for a while. Isn't it natural for an apprentice witch to stay at a witch's house? That's true, but... It's a mailbox? Okay. Oh, take a nap. I don't want to take a nap. Anyone there? Is anyone there? Seems like nobody is here. This witch's house may have been abandoned. After all, even the witch administration can't miss out things. Alright, let's go inside. Wow, it's packed. It really is an abandoned witch's house. Taking that into consideration, it looks okay. Although, it's not that clean. Since the witch's house is managed on her own, it doesn't seem to be in very good condition considering how dirty it is. The bed looks quite comfortable though. I guess I can just sleep here. Well, since the witch's house is a public institution, it's okay to sleep one night or so. And it's better than sleeping outside. Collecting uses energy. You can recover spent energy by eating or sleeping. The house is a bit messy. We'll just stay for one day, who cares? Sleep until 8 o'clock tomorrow. Oh, is she dreaming about the cat? What's with that face? We slept on a nice fluffy bed. Yes, but I dreamt that I was sleeping on the train. All that effort not to sleep on the train, only to dream of just that? You should have just slept on the train. No, that's not it. I slept very well, actually. I can almost hear the sound of the train, though. Wait, isn't that indeed the sound of the train? Why, really? Let's go have a look. We're in trouble if we're gonna miss that train. Really is the sound of the train whistle. I think it's about to leave. Let's hurry back. I woke up just in time. Glad I didn't sleep in. This is not the way to the train. That didn't work either. Huh? Where's the train? Looks like that bird was imitating the train whistle sounds. But where's the train? It's gone to Hylian, of course. And what do we do now? Let's look around the area. We may find some clues. Why are you so calm? I've been through much worse with your mom. When climbing walls, you can press the parkour button to travel faster. So, parkour is not actually parkouring. What on earth is that thing? It's called a gaga bird. They say it's a bit insane. Quiet, I don't need this information now. It's your fault for oversleeping. Don't blame the gaga bird. Fine, whatever, just be quiet. A letter! How nice of them to leave a letter behind. Let's see, I think it's from the bartender on the train. You're probably shocked to see the train is gone. I heard that a witch who arrived in the middle of the night got rid of the prickly vines in no time. Unfortunately, the train couldn't wait any longer and had to leave right away. But don't worry, the train will come back, and there's a village nearby where I used to live. You can just spend some time there. There should be a sign in the forest. Follow it and find the village. When you arrive at the village, please send Enite and Arden my regards. Bartender. He says there's a village, Virgil. Are you even a little upset that we missed the train, Ellie? There's a village nearby. But we didn't see one yesterday. It was probably too dark to see. Let's look for it again. See if there's a sign as well. How about cleaning the witch's house? We might have to stay there until we find the village. Yes! Try not to sound so excited. We missed the train, remember? Right. You heard me, right? Well then, I might as well add more to the encyclopedia now. Can't go that way. Can't go that way. Well, let's see. Hey, how do I pick it up then? I wanted to collect it. Oh, wait, I gotta do that. That's a little annoying. Okay. The village lies to the east of here. I guess people do live around here. Alright, let's head east. But it seems to be blocked by something over there. It's true. It's little honey pumpkin. Let's go take a look first. Wait, we gotta draw these bunny rabbits. Squishy chub? Really? Can I take one of you with me? Oh! I got squishy chub fur! Maybe I draw this. Silver Starbell. Oh, okay, so we can't go this way. Weed Terminator Potion. Okay, but I don't have any. Wait, complete the Squishy Chub's research task 1. Clean the witch's house, investigate the honey pumpkin's black road. Look at that. In search of curious creatures? Oh no, that was the cat. Okay, draw with your quill. Study the green forest. Objectives. Let's complete Squishy Chub's research tab. Okay, but what is the Squishy Chub's research tab? Oh, we can make this. Okay. We need 2 Squishy Chub fur and 2 witch flower. Add or remove. Open the theme page. Turn the page. Okay, so am I gonna need fire for this? Okay. Processing method. I don't understand how to make it happen though. How do I do it? Oops. Craft bonus. Okay. But do I need fire to do it? I might need fire to do it. First lifting candy. I think we need to do is go back to the house. There's too much. It would take forever to pull all this out using hands. Take a look at the bin over there. It might contain a potion to get rid of weed. Which bin and which bin are we looking at here? There's nothing here. Then we'll have to use another tool. Is there another tool? Yes, there's a wonderful tool. What's that? Your hands. Honestly, I didn't think I'd be able to just walk into that. Oh, hi. Okay, so whatever those are, they're not meant to be picked. Master Gardener. Alright, I think that was all. Clean now, good. Now it's time to tidy up the house. Right. Look, Ellie, it's a quest mark. All I see is dust and cobwebs that we have to clean up. Exactly what I'm talking about. Let's find something useful while cleaning. Clean. 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 Wow, a witch bookshelf. Technically, it's a bookshelf that a witch used once. That's the same as a witch bookshelf. I'm not going to read a book, though. I'm tired of books. Even a poisonous mushroom is better than a witch who doesn't read books. What are you talking about? Because a poisonous mushroom kills just one person. Stop nagging. I read enough books at school. 12 plants that changed the history of witches. Fun witch plant encyclopedia. Dream plants for witch garden. There are so many books on plants. I guess the previous resident was a witch who studied plants. I should store any books I get in here. I have to fix that floor. I wonder where the previous witch is gone. She probably left a long time ago. She can be living well somewhere in the Lucerine or two. All done cleaning. It's also messy in front of the desk over there, Ellie, in case you didn't notice. Stop bossing me around like a professor. Finally managed to get out of school. There's some dust over there, Ellie. Don't leave food behind, Ellie. I told you not to go inside the principal's office, Ellie. You should have listened. Oh, this is a witch elevator. That's why you should listen to your professors. Hurry up and go down. What if there's a scary monster? You think so? Oh, I'm so excited. Wow, more cleaning. Wow, look at this, Virgil. This looks like a dispensary. You can make potions here as long as you've got the proper tools. But it needs some cleaning first. Wow, cleaning again. I know what this is. It's an extractor. We used it so many times at school. It was a slightly smaller one, though. It would be hard to use. Look at that glass bottle underneath. Oh, that's true. It's broken. I'll need a friendly toad at least. I'll need to get a glass bottle first in order to use this. You need at least you need to at least fix the extractor in order to make potions. Alright, let's go to the village first. Let's look for one. Okay, but don't I need to make a potion before I can... Oh, so I'm already... It's going to give me that extract. Wow, this pot looks pretty good. I think it was made by the Blue Thunder Workshop. And it has a very classic design. I only ever used the cheap pots at school. Finally, I get to use a good one. Do you remember how to use one? Sure. Use processed ingredients, heat them precisely, and stir them in the right direction. And at last, you'll end up with a proper potion. In order to craft potions, you need to follow the required ingredients, fire setting, and ladle direction. Carefully read the recipes in the encyclopedia. I actually like the way Miss Olivia speaks. Still, the pot is fine. You'll be able to make a potion if you have the right ingredients. Processing tools are in bad condition though. Since there's some discarded ingredients, to make the potion we need using them for now. This is a potion ingredient, isn't it? You've used them in school countless times. Are witches usually this sloppy? Sloppy or not, they're careful with their ingredients. Then I guess the witch that lived here was really sloppy. Or she left in a hurry. What? Beats me. Clean up. The spilled bottle, scribbled paper, and a book. What a mess. Just brush off the dust. Just brushing off the dust might take a lifetime. What's this? Moon oil? Looks like a recipe for potion. Judging from the mark, this should be a limited recipe. Limited recipes are also disposable. I guess it belongs to the previous witch. It reads, a potion with the power of moon. The ingredients are moonflower and phoenix feather. They are all very expensive. I'll use it someday. Let's have it ready for now. Yep, alright. There is also something underneath. Where? Oh, you're right. I don't know what kind of text this is. You learned it at school. It's the ancient witch language. You mean I learned how to read these strange symbols? Your score wasn't bad either. Don't remember anything. Anyway, let's have a look first. Oh, it looks like a recipe. It seems like moons something. I have no idea. I got a headache. Take a look if you remember later. Yeah, I should put it away and revisit it later. This desk would be nice to use as a workbench later. There's no use for it now, though. A roaster? Ugh, I hate this thing. After you put it in the collected items, it's a long and anxious wait. It's quite convenient as long as you remember to toss the collected items in beforehand. But it seems to be in bad condition. Really? Oh yeah. There's no handle for winding the spring. Where would I get a roaster handle? It's okay, the roaster is not needed for basic recipes. We may find something in the village. Yeah, let's go to the village first. How come everything here is broken? can't expect to find things intact in a place so dirty and messy. Still, the pot is fine. Talking about the pot is fine. This box looks pretty useful. I can put stuff in here when my pockets are full. Yes, and I'm all done cleaning. And we can make potions now. You can't process properly with broken tools. Someone left their ingredients on the floor. Let's try making with them for now. There was a little honey pumpkin in front of the village. The stubborn weed elimination potion should do it, right? It's the weed terminator potion. Anyway, let's get started. Check the recipe in the encyclopedia. You can probably use the ingredients you were lucky enough to find. You can use the witch's pot in the workshop to craft the potion you need. When crafting a potion, you need to check its recipe in the encyclopedia. Use the required ingredients, adjust the fire setting, and stir with the ladle. The progression bar at the top indicates the quality of the potion you're crafting. If you don't follow the instructions, the bar will shorten. If the bar disappears, the crafting fails. The longer the remaining bar when you finish crafting, the higher your score. Displayed on the right is the recipe of the potion, currently being crafted. Complete all phases of the recipe without failing, and the crafting will be successful. During the fire setting phase, you should adjust the heat intensity as required. You just need to follow the recipe's instructions of the current phase and meet the heat intensity and duration requirements. During the ladle direction phase, you should adjust the ladle direction. You just need to follow the recipe's instructions and stir in the required direction for the required amount of time. When adding ingredients, you must add the required ingredients. You just need to follow the instructions in the recipe and add the ingredients required for the current phase in the witch pot. When crafting, you may encounter unexpected situations in both the fire setting phase and the ladle direction phase. Handle the unexpected situations and make high quality potions. Alright then, let's make some potions in the witch's pot. Okay. Weed Terminator potion. What do you mean repair the pot? Oh, it's at 1,000 though. Okay. So my fire strength needs to be 4. Not bad for a first attempt. Awesome, the stubborn weed elimination potion is complete. It's extermination, not elimination. Anyway, it's ready. Let's go throw it at the little honey pumpkin. You must use it carefully since there is no more ingredients. Okay, don't worry. Throw it at the little honey pumpkin. Find the vine core and remove it. Because Weed Terminator potion is just a temporary measure. I got it. You can use the potion selector to select any potion and use it. Okay. You can now save and load from the cabinet on the first floor. Okay, that's obviously not the cabinet in question. But this one? Ah, save. Okay. Here we go. Uh-huh. This isn't a village. Look over there, Ellie. It's a prickly vine this time. And it's quite huge and thick. Oh no. What do I do with the extractor? First, take a look around. Take a look around it. Oh, so there are other humans. Hello, do you live in the village? Wow, what a lovely view. What? Aren't these trees beautiful? Their green leaves are so pretty in the sun. Oh, sure. Nature is so breathtaking. You must love nature a lot. I suppose no one dislikes nature since it's so charming. Okay, I'll be back. Walk under the vast sky and feel the charm of nature. I was an enthusiastic fan of nature. So enthusiastic that you can't have a proper conversation with her. You should respect her interests. I think it's more of an obsession. Something didn't feel right about her. You think she's cursed or something? A curse that makes her praise nature all the time? A curse by a nature lover? Well, maybe. Many witches are quirky after all. A curse lifting candy that can lift a curse. It should be among the basic recipes. Oh, but we can't use the processing tool now. I must process what's been collected to make candy. What should I do? You picked up several ingredients at the workplace earlier, didn't you? Those would be enough to make curse lifting candy. And did you see the thing beside them? Beside them? What? There was a glass bottle that would be perfect for the glass extractor box. Where? You're right. Alright, let's make the curse lifting candy to lift the curse. And to receive that glass bottle as a reward. That would be nice. First, let's go check on the candy that can lift the curse in the encyclopedia. Here we go, curse lifting candy. It looks like I've already got what I need. So we can probably make it. Take a look at that giant prickly vine. Yeah. Can I not go back up the stairs? But I need. Wow, it's really big. Too big for the weed terminator potion, I think. We need another solution. We'll have to stay at the witch's house for a while. Now can I leave? Yay, now I can leave. Okay. First lifting candy. Select ingredients. Bug extract and the fur extract. And then we've got to do there we go. And then the stir description. I don't understand. I did not understand what that was asking me to do. What are those? Pumpkin terrier fur? Well, that was interesting. Alright, here, young lady, please eat this. Shall I give her the curse lifting candy? Would you like to try this? May the blessings of nature be with you. Hello? Yes, hello. Am I speaking properly now? Yes, I think so. Wow, thank you so much. The hell with nature. I guess it really was a curse. I met an old man in the jungle west of here who was apparently suspicious. I simply couldn't ignore such a well-made wooden statue of a monkey. After I bought it, I could only talk about praising nature. I tried to speak sarcastically or right, but all that came out were praises for nature. Pure torture. Hope nature just rots and dies. Still, I'm glad the curse was easily removed. Oh, thank you so much. My name is Aurea. How long has it been since I've said my name? My name is Ellie. I'm an apprentice witch. Oh, did you come to this village to be an apprentice? I was on a train, but I got off for a moment and it left without me. Oh dear. I wanted to enter the village, but it was blocked off by some prickly vines. Damn nature. Thankfully, we found an empty witch's house nearby, so I've been staying there. An empty... Oh yes, there's a witch's house here. That's good. I've business in the village too, but the vines stopped me. Nature be damned. I'll be here for a while, so let me know if you need anything. Oh, then, can I ask you a favor? Not a favor, but a fair price. What do you need? The tools were broken when I was trying to use the dispensary at the witch's house. Do you have any tools or parts? What kind of tools or parts do you need? I need a glass bottle for the extractor and a roaster handle for winding the roaster. Wait a minute, I'll look for them. Yes. But Ellie, do you have any money? I do. Mom gave me pocket money when I came out. You think you'll be able to buy witch's tools with just enough pocket money to buy a snack or two? Oh yeah? What if I don't have enough money? Since you have tools, make and sell potions or something. You can also sell candies now. Only if there are people to buy them. Back. Here you are. Glass extractor bottle. How much is this? Oh, never mind. This is return for breaking my curse. Wow, thank God. Unfortunately, I don't have any roaster handle for the roaster. I see. Will you be staying at the village? If so, I'll bring it next time. I'll charge you for it then, however. Good. Please bring it then. Okay, I'll write roaster handle in the memo. Oh, and take this too. Since the worth of the bottle earlier wasn't enough, you can have this as well. What's this? It's an atlas, including maps of the surroundings. But it's not complete. Please find time to fill in the missing part. To have a map, you need to draw it. Find the map sign somewhere in the region to draw a map. I've included maps of the surroundings. You can check them out later. I almost got lost. Thank you. This is to repay the medicine fee you gave me. No need to thank me. This is a bonus. Now you can thank me. Haha, alright, thank you. Sure, looking forward to your next visit. Now we're finally able to fix the extractor. But are you really going to stay in this village? I should until the train comes. Really? I have no choice. No, I mean, you're really going to leave when the train comes? As for that question, I'll decide when it does come. Let's just fix the extractor first. Menus, atlas. Oh, cool, it tells me where I am. Wait, can I go down here? Oh, a chest. A steak, a beef stew, and a steak, and a beef stew. Oh, okay. No entry. So, I'm sure you guys have noticed, but I haven't streamed a lot lately, and my voice, after reading all this, is my throat kind of hurt. So, even though it hasn't been that long, I think I'm going to end here for today. It's just kind of to get back into the swing of things. And try out the new game, you know? So, let's see. Do I have a lot of people here? Probably not. No. So, I am just going to tell you good night and have Happy New Year. And remember, if you're mutual and you want to play Goose Goose Duck next Saturday on the 10th, DM me or something. Okay. Take care of yourselves. Love you guys. I hope the new year brings you everything you want in life. Mwah.